But Diane has essentially been very proud of the fact that she has been successful working across the aisle, compromising. When she came to Los Angeles recently at a town hall, she said, what we don't need are people who are rabble-rousers, people who are trying to raise these issues and get people fired up. We need people who are effective in working across the aisle. As I said, I'm an attorney, and I don't disagree that there are times when for example, when I'm working with clients that I work out a plea bargain, there's times for compromise. But you learn very quickly, there are times you have to fight. There are times you have to stand up. And right now is one of those times. Maybe in my lifetime, the number one time, we have to stand up. We have to have a fighter. We have to have somebody who is a rabble-rouser. And when she said at the town hall, she got kind of exasperated. People were talking and asking her to do things. And she said, what do you think just one senator can do? That's what pushed me over the edge. Because I can tell you what one senator can do because I've seen it. I've seen what Elizabeth Warren has done for income inequality. I've seen what Bernie Sanders has done for single-payer health care. One senator can do a lot if they're willing to stand up and be counted and talk about it. And rabble-rouse.
Exactly.
And that's what we need. Now, the second reason that I'm running is because I always love to quote Paul Wellstone, who's one of my heroes, used to say, I belong to the Democratic wing of the Democratic Party. That is who I am. I believe in that very strongly, and I believe we've gotten away from it. And we've all read 200 articles about what happened in the 2016 election and the different statistical breakdowns. But let me tell you something. This is what really sends me over the edge. Monday, Senator Feinstein announced for re-election. Not this Monday, excuse me, a week ago Monday. She announced for re-election. Her first campaign stop, Tuesday night. Now keep in mind, this is going to be covered by all the papers. It's going to go out all across the nation, all across the state. She goes straight to Beverly Hills, gives a speech at a billionaire's home in front of a swimming pool with people sipping champagne. That is the problem we've got. We wonder why we're losing the working class. It's because the first trip you make is to a fundraiser and a bunch of Democratic officials standing around patting each other on the back about how progressive they are while they're standing there sipping the champagne at the swimming pool. That night, I was in Sonora talking to a group very similar to this group. We actually ended up going kind of late. I have a bad habit of talking. Like, you can cut me off, I swear. But it went kind of late, so we went down. We couldn't find any places to eat, and we ended up going to kind of a dive bar. And we're sitting down there at this dive bar, eating, because about the only thing they had were pretzels, so that's about it. But we're talking, as we're sitting there, we're talking politics, and people started coming up to us. These guys who hang out at the bar. A guy who's a logger, and he starts arguing with us. And a guy who's a trucker and goes back and forth, who can't afford to live in San Francisco, so he drives back and forth to the area. We started talking to these people, and I couldn't help but think of the juxtaposition of we're sitting there talking to people in a dive bar while they're sitting in Beverly Hills talking to these people. It's wrong, and the other thing that's wrong along those lines is every single person in that room, I ask them, when is the last time you saw Dianne Feinstein? We never see her. She doesn't come out here. Well, why? Well, there's no money and no votes, especially no money. So we're not being listened to. No one's listening to us. No one's hearing what we have to say. I think this is especially important because when you talk to these people, they have genuine concerns. I don't know the situation here with Eureka. I don't know if she's been here recently, if she's ever comes around.